think we're good. Yeah. So hi, Jen. Nice to see you.
Good morning. It's nice to see you too.
Good morning for you. Good evening or afternoon. It's 4:30 p.m. here. 8:30 for you.
Oh my goodness. It's 8:30 a.m. here. Yeah.
We're 8 hours ahead over here. Okay, cool. So I'm here with Jen, and maybe you're watching this live, not live even, but maybe you're watching this recent. So where are we now? We're in July, right at the beginning of July 2019. And Jen and I have become friends online in a business growth group, and we was chatting back and forth with some ideas. You may have seen some of my stuff because I'm probably going to post it on my social media stuff. So you'll know who I am. I'm studying to be a clinical hypnotherapist. And part of the study and becoming an NLP practitioner, master practitioner, was some exercises that help the mind to function in a more effective way. So when Jen and I were talking, we realized that one of the exercises that I have may be something that really could help Jen in the position she's in with her business and what she wants to work on. So that's a little bit about me. Jen, who are you? What do you do? And what are you up to?
I am a nurse practitioner. I'm Jen Bullock. I'm a nurse practitioner in Ashland, Oregon, and I do medical aesthetics and anti-aging medicine. So I've been in practice for about 3 years, and I'm really wanting to kind of define my practice and create something that kind of builds and draws people in for some like destination type stuff. We live in a really, really beautiful little niche of the country. It's a tourist place. So I'm really wanting to just do some very specialized tourist type, maybe not tourist, but destination stuff where people can come and, spend a weekend and be totally rejuvenated by the time they leave. Okay.
And have you got that going? Is that going already, or that's something brand new, or?
It's something brand new. We're in the process of building and creating it. The project that I'm wanting to work on, or that I'm trying to work on, is sort of an education piece where I can provide like 6 weeks of pre-education about all the different things that people are most interested in or trying to find solutions for. And it's a big, big project.
Okay. Is that what you're thinking of focusing on today when we go through the exercise?
Yes. So I've been I wrote the outline for this project probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago. So I know what's supposed to go into it, but when I sit down to write it, it's like I get so overwhelmed with the magnitude of what it's supposed to be, or like the idea. I'm kind of a perfectionist. So I have a hard time moving forward in one particular piece because I want to envision, like this whole massive what it's supposed to be. And then I sort of panic and get a little bit overwhelmed with the whole process. I have a hard time moving through and just focusing on what's in front of me right now.
Yep. That sounds very common.
Mm-hmm.
People want to have a big vision. All right. So what specifically would you like to focus on today when we get into the exercise in a moment?
Well, just being able to sit down, and I set aside a whole week to really dive into the content creation of this masterclass project that I'm working on. And I am 4 days in, and I worked on it for about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
And I've found every other thing that I could possibly do in the last 4 days, and I'm running out of time to really get into it. So
cool. Okay. So, and you're okay for us to share this as a video and as we go through this?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. All right. So last question then, what would be a really clear defined outcome? How would you know that what we did was a success?
Well, just having that I sit down and work on it, right? It doesn't have to be completed this week, but I need to, at least have like most of the bullet points for the first several weeks really sussed out.
Okay. So double the time? Is there a certain amount of hours you'd like to get complete on it, and you'd know, wow, that was a successful what do you have? 3 days left of this week, right? You said 4 days in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't have to, I have till Monday. So I actually have a whole good big chunk of time that I have to put on this. But yeah, I mean, when I sit down and I start working and I'm really invested in something, I can work for 5 or 6 hours and it feels like, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
So
I
when you
really want to
Monday,
get, huh?
say you're at next Monday, it's
Yeah.
next Monday now, and you're looking back at the last few days to hear
Yeah.
what's happened, and you're like, wow.
I have completed most of the 6 weeks, at least first draft on the first 6 weeks of the masterclass.
Okay, so first draft, a good few hours. Okay. First draft. All right, that's good. That's tangible. All right, cool. That's nice and easy. Right
Okay.
then, so this is a little exercise where we're going to just rewire the way the brain's working a little bit. And it's
Okay.
really, really simple. And we all kind of do it, but we all do it back to front. So what I like to do is just take a deep breath in at your own speed and pace that feels comfortable. That's right. And then as you just take another deep breath in, just hold that breath for me. Good. And then only breathe out when you're ready to relax a little bit more. Good. You can have your eyes open or closed, whatever you feel most comfortable with, and just allow your breath to become more relaxed, deeper, smoother, maybe a little bit slower, whatever feels right for you. Now, good. Now, as you're relaxing more with each breath, what I'd like you to do is just think of a scale -10 all the way up to +10. So on your being productive around building and developing and writing out, getting close to writing your first draft for your course, where are you currently and the last few days and maybe up to right now? We might have shifted it a little bit with our last chat, but if you can just go back to maybe before we got on the call, where was you on that scale? -10 being, terrible position. You've only spent an hour on it in the last 4 days, something like that, or worse. And +10, perfect position. Where would you say you are?
I feel like maybe a -2.
-2. Great. All right. Now, as you're at that -2, just like you might notice some images flash up when you think about why you're at the -2 and some feelings somewhere inside your body or your mind or your head. And what I'd like to think about is what would need to happen to get you to a -1 or maybe a 0 on that scale. Tell me what would need to happen.
Well, my house needs to be cleaned.
House cleaned.
Yes, it takes some of my energy when everything is chaotic around me, and it feels really chaotic when everything's out of order.
Okay, so you need to have things tidy and organized around you, and you'll be more productive with this task. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's doable, right? You could clean the house, get it into a state where you could be productive. Quick.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. So imagine that's happening and that's done. Just imagine that for a moment, and when you fully imagine that, just give me a nod just to say, yeah, let me know that you've fully imagined it and you've completed that. Cool. Okay, so on that scale of -10 to +10, where are you now?
+2.
You jumped up even further. Cool. Getting there. Just from cleaning the house. This is a good one. So what would need to happen to get you to a +3 or a +4?
To have a little bit of like quiet and space in the house. We have my husband works from home also, and when I'm working on projects, he's also got his own ideas and he's really excited about his stuff, and he likes to assign me extra tasks, which for him, he's able to just put them out there and he'll remember them. But for me, it just feels like when I'm working on whatever's in front of me, that it sort of detracts my energy. So for him to give me some space to just finish what I have in front of me right now without extra assigned tasks.
Okay. And you could organize that easily?
Yes.
Yeah. And then when you've spoken with your husband about that, you have a specific place for either you to go or him to go, and you could both get on with your work?
Yes.
Okay. Right, cool. So just imagine that happening. And then when you fully imagine that as is happening and has happened, just give me a nod to say that you've completed that.
All right, I'm going to add one thing to that. He's going to take the dogs with him.
That's doable. That sounds realistic to me. All right, cool. Have you imagined that fully?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So now on that scale of -10 to +10, where are you on this getting close to completing your first draft?
Well, with that, I feel like I'm closer to like a +7 or a +8.
+7 or 8. Okay, we're moving up nicely. Cool. So what would need to get you to a solid 7 or an 8 or maybe even a 9, somewhere in there? What would need to happen next?
I think that those are really the big things. I can't really think of anything else. Just the action of sitting down and doing it.
That sounds like it needs to be in there.
Mm.
You need to do that. All right. So you tell me what needs to happen to be a good 8 or 9 on that scale, +8 or 9.
And I'm just going to sit down and do it.
All right. Cool. Okay. So imagine that for me now. Fully see that. Bring some color to it. Envision yourself in it, doing it. Feel what that's like. Then you've also completed it, and that's been done now. And you had however many hours or minutes or however long you need for that to feel complete for you. That task, that writing session, or maybe more than one writing session. Maybe you speak with your husband and you line one up per day for the next 3-4 days in a row, which is also maybe possible. Okay, so fully imagine what's right for you. Just visualize that and just feel it out. And when you fully completed that, just give me a nod. Yeah, that's done. Cool. So on that scale now, -10 to +10 of completing the first draft, big chunk of work, where are you now?
I'm like a 9.
9. Solid. Good. Great. That's perfect. So what needs to happen to get you to that +10?
I don't know. I don't think that there's anything that needs to, maybe I just need to stop worrying about the absolute end result. I get anxious about the idea of filming the content, because that is part of what's going to be like the actual production of the masterclass is a presentation of everything that I write. And when I'm really, really good one-on-one with people and I can do a little Facebook Live on something, but when I have the perception that somebody is recording me, then sometimes I feel like I get anxious and I forget everything. And so there is a little anxiety about the final production because I want it all to be perfect. I want it to be really good.
Of course. So what I would suggest is what we're talking about now, we need to get a first layer done, which is to get the first draft written. So I'd like you to slide those thoughts that you just had just off to the side for a moment. We'll put them in the, to do a little bit later folder. Just pop them there because you'll get to them. And I think cross that bridge when you get there. At the moment, you're not ready to film them yet because you haven't written the first draft. So let's not spend the moment thinking about filming them yet. Let's do that when we get closer to that point.
Okay.
I think stay focused on your first draft and getting that piece of work done so you feel really good about that. And then you can start thinking about what's the next step after that first draft is complete. Yeah. So I just want to get you to a 10 on our original goal. So it's writing that first draft. So you feel like this week has been an amazingly successful, effective, productive week. So taking the video and the filming out of it, just sliding that off to the side, what would get you to a 10 of completing that first draft, the writing, everything that needs to be done? What needs to happen for you?
I'm just going to let go of the end process, because that was it. So
and how long do you think you need?
Just focus my energy on the completion of my first draft and what's in front of me right now.
I just have one question. Is how long do you think you need?
How long do I need to complete the first draft?
Yeah. Is it like an hour? Is it 10 hours? Is how long?
It's probably like maybe 15 hours.
15 hours.
Like 5 hours a day, maybe. I'm a slow writer because I think about everything as I write it.
So do you think you need 15 hours to complete the first draft?
Yeah.
So if you split that over, you've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Monday as well, or till Monday?
And Monday.
So you got 6 days. So it's about just under 3 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
You need to give yourself a good 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours each day. Can you picture yourself carving that time out?
Oh, yeah.
Or you can do a 5-hour slot one day and, however you want to mix it.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So just visualize that for now. You're getting between 2.5 and 5 hours per day writing, and the first draft is taking shape. And then you get to Monday and you've actually spent at least 15 hours on it. And you have the first draft either in your hand or it's on your laptop or wherever you're writing it. It's complete. You put it in a safe place so it can't be deleted or lost anywhere. And you've got it done. Okay, on that scale of -10 to +10, where would you say you are right now?
+10.
Cool. And know that everything that you've said was completely realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it. I didn't have any reaction to it because it sounded completely real and doable and achievable. So it's definitely possible. And you already know you can do it. It's just a matter of getting yourself there. Already set the plan. What you need to do is carve out the time with your husband and in your space where you need to work and go through the steps that we just talked through, that you just thought through. Just take a few breaths and just relax for a moment. Just allow that to sink in. And when you're ready on the next exhalation, you can just open your eyes, come back to the room, feel more energized than before. Welcome back. Nice little journey.
Yeah.
It's a simple little strategy. But do you feel a difference between, you look a little bit different in your face, I would say, looking at you. Do you feel any difference from when we started to now?
Absolutely. Because I've been walking around just feeling sort of a heavy weight of the task, knowing that it's something that I totally can do. I mean, I've done much bigger projects than this, but just feeling resistant to wanting to start it. So
putting some big images in front of you in your eye of the filming, and then being a bit and then stopping yourself from taking that step closer to the filming. You can make those images a bit smaller and slide them off for the moment. Focus on those when you get there. Let's get it written first. The way to go. All right, cool. I would be interested to see how you get on.
I will keep you updated.
Yeah, and hopefully by Monday you're going to be. Maybe we'll jump on a message or a video again, and you can say, "No, look at this."
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool, lovely, Jen. Lovely to talk with you. I'll just end the recording now, and we'll say goodbye.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. You as well.